We build Meet the People as a new generation agency group. I'm not calling it holding company because that's the guys we want to be. We have acquired so far 3 companies. We're going to acquire another dozen. But why Adomni? Again, I grew up with Google, Facebook, Amazon being my front and backyard. I always thought building agencies in that space or programmatic at that, to be honest as well, but building agencies in that specific part of the industry is so incredibly easy because there's no entry barriers. You need a credit card and half a brain, right? So I could even buy it, right? So, and what I was always looking for, and this is how I met Adomni and met you again, really was finding a platform or looking for a platform where I can buy digital out of home the same way how I'm used to buying it on Google or Facebook. Of course, with certain constraints because it's actually physical but digital, but with the beauty of being pretty much in real time, being moving images, can geofence it, can target one single billboard at a Walmart anywhere in the United States. So for me, that is killing entry barriers for clients, for small businesses, for agencies to actually run out of home. That when you look at, and then we're going to stop talking about it, but when you look at what grew pre-pandemic in terms of media channels, there was digital, big bucket, 15-20% year-on-year, including programmatic Google, Amazon, TikTok, and so on. And then out of home, 3 to 4%. If you would look at digital out of home, it was double digit, right? So for me, that is one of the most important partnerships because I believe, and I see it here, we all have come here to listen to people, and we don't mind being in person anymore. We're traveling again. I walk streets in LA. I was in London 2 weeks ago. It's busy. People are out. People are consuming. Brick and mortar is back. Look at the LVMH financial reporting first half year, skyrocketing. So consumption is there. Where are people right now? Yes, they're on their screens, but they're also out on the street. And that's why this is an extremely important partnership and be able to do it globally.
And is the industry taking it seriously for real? Is this a kind of post-horrible situation thing where we all start to address it again? 'Cause I'm kind of the mind that the agencies we're all excited about, the businesses we're all excited about, and you've mentioned them here, the e-commerce giants, the tech giants. We're all excited about them, but they seem to be excited about out of home. Google bought Titan to create intersection and give free terabyte Wi-Fi, and I think a massive part of what people expect when they're released out of their homes now is something different, something that you've heard me say this before, and it was funny that the last couple, someone asked what word annoys them, and for me it's the word disruption. And I'm often asked, can out of home be a good disruptor? And look it up. I mean, if anyone wants to Google it now, it's something along the lines of to spoil, ruin, or mess up, or in other words, by causing a problem. If you Google what is the opposite of disruption, it's heighten, improve, enhance, make better. It's things you actually see on a brief and things that I want done in my life for me as a consumer. And I think we have a unique ability to do that. As I say, Google provides free terabyte Wi-Fi to all 5 boroughs in Manhattan. Why don't we it's what will guide Amazon's drones. It will be the GPS network for law enforcement. So it feels like our clients, certainly our clients and our partners, but the big companies we're all excited about are excited about us. Are we missing a trick by not being as excited as them?
You mean the tech companies?
Yeah.
Well,
Netflix bought their own out-of-home company.
I'm excited about it, so put me in that bucket. But I think what we're going to see, and we're seeing it already, is that real estate is being snatched up by the tech companies. Why? Because they know you have to be in the streets. You have to be where foot traffic is. And you see it with Amazon. They have, I can only judge now from New York, but there's stores now everywhere, right? They're popping up everywhere. So, and you see young brands pushing extremely hard on out of home, actually launching brands on out of home, like how we launched Meet the People last week, right? Because in digital, you all know this, your programmatic media buyers, your agencies, your clients who deal with digital marketing all the time. Things like Aussie wouldn't have happened if in over-measurement, in a time where we over-measure everything, we have to believe the KPIs we get back from the publishers, right? So from my perspective, it's still extremely interesting to launch a brand in a combination with digital and out of home. What I wish for is that we at some point can connect some of the data, so I can understand better. Did I hit the audience right? I can do I can do it on geo-targeting and geographically, but I would obviously like to have some kind of cross-audiencing at some point, right? So, yeah, I mean, the tech companies are clearly excited about it, and I think they will do more acquisitions, and there are large companies who are going through disruption, the word you hate. I talked to a friend of mine who told me that one of the very large out-of-home firms is investigating to sell the entire European business because they can't digitalize it fast enough. It's too fragmented, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if one of the large tech companies is going to buy it.
Yeah, interesting. No, it is, and I guess that, throwing around the word disruption again, we've all just been through 18 months of the dictionary definition of the word, and it's pretty shit. So recovering from that, is that what you need to see from the out-of-home industry to be taken more seriously? So I feel now, we just did a global deal with Sports Radar to ingest gaming data and odds, so we can do real-time live gaming odds as they change to people. We did the world's largest ever out-of-home programmatic campaign for one of the Kardashians. And that was that morning. I want to go live in proximity to everywhere that sells the product, and what was great for us was it sold out that afternoon, and we were able to take it down, which was historically an issue for us. No one had to go up a ladder with a brush. So what else do we need to do for you guys to sit back and go, oh, actually, you do sit next to us, you are on a power desk?
For me, the big question is, what is exciting about out-of-home at large? Like, is it the creative idea, or is it the execution through a technology platform like Adomni, where you can reach people super micro geo audience, right? So I always, again, and this is why we call ourselves Meet the People, because I had not enough appreciation for the creative process, because I ran performance marketing agencies nearly my entire life. And so I didn't really appreciate the time that goes into coming up with an amazing creative that people would stop on the street and actually interact with, right? So from my perspective, what will differentiate campaigns and agencies and what we're building every day is the creative aspect of it. You can execute flawlessly everywhere now, and technology, you can't stop it, and I don't need to invent it because there's people who have thousands of engineers who are going to do it anyways, right? So for us, the question would be, how do I activate through technology? How do I use technology as an enabler to come up with the best campaigns in the world that are, again, shared on social, or where people stop in the street and want to take a picture of or interact with a QR code, right? So that is something I think where you guys will have to help in the future, because if you're asking what's the differentiation, like, sit with creatives, because then you get campaigns that are awesome.
It's interesting, and I do think that's a unique thing we have. I do see in this world of one-to-one micro-targeting, putting Beyonce 900 feet tall on Sunset Boulevard has value, especially now that she'll Instagram it. Now that will be a digital screen, and it'll take dynamic creative in a programmatic fashion. But now that we have the ability to speak to whatever the Beyonce demographic is on the day the album launches, and it's people that bought the last R&B album, etc. So I think the creative planning is that building a relationship from top to bottom for me. And I guess realistically, with a minute to go, what I wanted people to take out of this, if nothing else, is, especially now we're in such an emotional time coming back to reality, is to not just do what you do for the living, but to do it as a consumer and think what you see and what excites you. There's an interesting stat, and I'll be anecdotal because I can't remember the stat exactly, but it's something like the top 20 brands in the world spend over 20% of their budget out of home. The next 200 spend less than 5. Mm-hmm. So what do that top 20 know? And we interviewed about 12 of them, and it was fame. When you're on a billboard, you're a rock star. We've got videos of P. Diddy saying, "Hey mama, I made it." I haven't got any pictures of anyone in front of a screen with a banner or going, "Hey, look, I made it."
That often, is it?
So I think,
yourself on search.
Yeah. I think it's important that we realise where consumers are relevant of what we do for a living, and to plan our games around that. And at the risk of sounding salesy, but hey, we spend 80% of our waking life outside our house, and that should be reflected in our media plans.
And people are desperate to do that again. I want to spend time out of the house. I'm so excited to be here because it's the first conference in 2 years, and it was like, oh, how many people will show up? I'm not sure. Like, how will they behave?
Who wear red? Has anybody got a red one? I'm not going to shame anybody.
Oh yeah, we want to. We don't want to shame one. Who got a green one? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Cool.
Well, 6 seconds to go with no rehearsal. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.